Hello everyone, wakey wakey, good morning. We've got tons and tons of teasers, videos and news for update 2.5. As you can see here, I've collected everything, screenshotted everything, we'll watch the videos together and we'll analyze everything as I always do. But before we start, here are the times of the update itself. So this is the time that the update will drop in different time zones. And here are the times that the live stream will drop. I have already scheduled the live stream on my channel. You can simply go to my YouTube channel and you can click on this live tab here and you will see the first live stream that should show up for you is the 2.5 Chinese live stream. This is the Chinese live stream, which means it's 16 hours earlier than the English live stream. I will do a watch party. We can all watch it together. I do this every single live stream, okay? We will watch this together earlier. I will translate all the information during the live stream, and after the live stream, I'll compile all of the information in a update video. So it's really fun. If you want to join that, you can go there and click maybe notify me to not lose the time. It will show up to you in your time zone. So here for me, as you can see, it's going to be on the 19th of April, midday, but that's my time zone, UK time zone. When you click on my live stream tab here on my channel, it will show you on your time zone. So do not worry, it will show you exactly the time that you should open up the stream to watch it together with us. Now let's analyze all of the images. We've got tons and tons of things. First of all is the live stream announcement itself. We can already see a little bit of the boneyard. And we have the boat, so we're gonna be probably sailing on this boat to reach the boneyard. And we can see tons of details here already. So we have tons of bones. We have this very strange mountain, which has a very strange shape, and also this very weird eclipse of sorts, which makes me think that we are looking like the specific time that as a story will happen may be important. Maybe the ritual that the Perksolians want to do needs the eclipse to happen. Like maybe this eclipse allows us to time travel or connect with the souls. Like I think that this eclipse is definitely going to be important. The mountain shape is super weird. Like I'm not entirely sure if this is really a natural mountain. It's really strange. And we have tons of bones everywhere. We have the waters and we also have the tiny little spirits that belong to Acheros. So I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of 2.0, we actually meet one of those little spirits right at the first cutscene, right here. So this is from my live stream. I actually did the 2.0 story in full very recently, so it's all very fresh in my mind. This is Acheros' little soul guidance, maybe from the Saint Ass, but it's definitely related to Acheros. It also shows up on Acheros art. So at the end of the battle against the Guardian Beast Whirls, we see a cutscene that depicts Acheros, and we can also see the little souls here. So I guess these are just like souls or spirits. Reminder that Acheros is the god of reincarnation. So his whole goal and purpose was to guide the souls in the afterlife so they can, in the limbo, so they can cross over and reincarnate again. So we've got tons of these little souls everywhere, the little spirit. They're almost like bubbles here. And it seems that the update will be very water related, which is something that we already expected because all of the previous teasers in 2.0 for It's a Land itself was very water themed as well, which also led me to believe that we may have had underwater maps for It's a Land, not just Whaleport or potentially Empire of Light. But I don't think that, like looking at this, I don't think we are going underwater, at least not right now. Not in 2.5, but I have some thoughts about this, which we'll talk about in a second. But first, let's continue analyzing everything. We've got an icon update and we have the new arrow. And the arrow has a, bones of a dragon, the weird mountain as well. And again, the little souls with that little blob shape. Nothing crazy on the arrow. It's not showing us anything that we haven't seen. Then we have this beautiful art with this really pretty outfit. And I suppose this is the new ability outfit for this new update, and I have a few ideas of what the ability could be, but I'll talk about this a little bit later as well in this video. We have the souls and the spirits. We have some icons here, like we have some different patterns, the triangles, the feathers, the bones. It looks very Parksolian themed, or Soul Spring themed, I think. I find interesting that we're getting another veil, but I really love the hair here with the braids. I'm very excited for this outfit. This will, like, most probably this is a free full star ability outfit, okay? Like that's almost confirmed. They never ever draw in detail the limited outfits nor the miracle outfits. So we're probably gonna get the miracle outfit right now and 2 double banners, right? 2 5 stars, but we're not gonna see them detailed like this. They usually only detail the full star ability outfit. So this makes me think that this is the ability outfit for the next region, which is the Boneyard. It's very pretty. I love the shoes. I love the skirt. I really like this outfit. I think it's really beautiful. If it has like a starry pattern here on the skirt, it's definitely gonna be very, very, very pretty. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that this is about the event that they are running for like rewards and things like that. There is like a web event, which we'll talk about as well. The event ends on 28th of May. It starts today, but ends 28th of May. I think that this could be the last day of the update, which means that the update will last around 34 days, which is normally what the longest Infinite Nikki updates have been lasting from like 30 to 38 days, I think. So 34 is on the longer end of the update. So this is bound to be a big update, and the 2.6 will probably start around 28 to 29 of May. But this is just a random guess. I imagine that it would end up with the same day of the update, but we'll get confirmation on this in a week. Then we've got 2 teaser videos. I'm actually gonna play both the teaser videos here for you, and I'll talk over very little, but I want you to just see all of the details, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna screenshot all of those and we're gonna talk about all of the things that I've noticed on these 2 teasers. The first teaser is the most important one, which is a little bit of a story there with a Parksolian, like a Grandpa Parksolian, and he's explaining that the Parksolians actually all live in the Boneyard, and their role and job is to guide the souls to cross over to the afterlife, which used to be Ekaro's job before Ekaros died. So it's really strange that the Parksolians are actually, in charge of this role now that the Ekaros is gone. So that's why they stay there alongside the Boneyard and the Soul Spring, because that's the place where all of the souls will travel to. So when you die, your soul will travel to the Boneyard to be able to cross over to the afterlife. That's this spot, the place that you need to go, your soul needs to go to cross. But then there are other things that we learn here in this video. For example, not every soul wants to cross. So we have things like souls possessing living beings and souls refusing to cross over. And that's why the Parksolians need to intervene and guide those souls to, let go. So I'm guessing we're gonna have very interesting stories similar to Sith 1.7 story. Her soul was also stuck in our realm here because, all of the regrets and guilt and all of the misunderstanding that happened between Sif and Alicia towards, the history, like people didn't know what really happened there. Her soul was stuck here, so she probably crossed over now. So it's gonna be very heartbreaking stories, I imagine, with the characters in this area. It also seems that the Parksolians absorb some of the pain that they experience in this process from these souls that are crossing. And I also find interesting that the Boneyard artwork has like an aurora, right? Like the Northern Lights. It seems now that it's almost confirmed that the Northern Lights are not Northern Lights. They are actually all of the souls directing themselves to the Boneyard to cross over. And then we've got as well the teaser of the new map, like just the visuals and what it's gonna look like. It's pretty different from what I imagined, to be honest, but I also have a little theory that connects to another thing that I mentioned on my previous theory video, which I'll mention in a bit as well. But let's just talk about the soul things a little bit more. So I have translated the post from the Chinese website. It may not be perfectly correct, but I think it relates very deeply to my theory of the Parksolians removing souls from the body. So essentially, just a very, very quick summary from my theory video. I still recommend you watch it separately, just so you know better what I'm talking about, because it's very in-depth, this video here. I'll link that down below. We know that Lady Madel wants the golden mark that Nikki has on her, the back of her neck. That golden mark was gifted to Nikki by the Saint Tess. And we all understand from the Providence Immemorial outfit descriptions that the golden mark is actually a part part of Akero's soul. So the Saintess had a part of Akero's soul, and that's why she is a reincarnation of Akeros, but just a partial reincarnation, because she doesn't have the entire soul. She only has one part. We don't know where the other part or the other parts are located right now, although I have a theory that it's within the Titan King. In the scene where we see Titan King and Akeros, we are led to believe that Titan King kills Akeros, although I don't think that she's actually a villain, and that instead Akeros gifted the golden mark, so a part of his soul, to the Titan King. So she's carrying a part of Akeros' soul, and that's why she has all of these golden marks on her face and on her hair. I believe that she's carrying... It could be that she's a villain and that she really killed Akeros and she took his like a part of his soul on by force. But I tend to think that it's more similar to Sif and Alicia's story in 1.7, and that maybe this is all like a huge misunderstanding, and that Akeros gifted her the mark with the, a part of his soul. So if you were a Perxolian and you wanted to revive Akeros, you would need his entire soul, or maybe if you want to help him cross over, right? But part of his soul is in the Saintess, and another part of his soul is in the Titan King, who's dead. So what do we need to do? You need to capture the Saintess, remove the soul from her, and then revive the Titan King and remove the soul from her. Then you can combine those souls and revive Akeros. This is, in my opinion, my theory. This is what the Perxolians or Lady Madel wants. She wants to actually revive Akeros, not the Titan King. Because we know that they want to revive the Titan King. But why would half-dragon people want to revive the quote-unquote person who killed the dragon gods? At least that's the story that we've heard so far, right? So it's all very suspicious, and I think that either the Perxolians want, maybe the Perxolians are villains and they are, one of my theories is that they are potentially just hybrids, like experiments, and they were actually the humans that we can see at the first trailer. So I have two theories. Either the Perxolians are in fact part dragons, like a normal mixed creature species, like a fantasy species, and they are carrying out the duty of Akeros, and they are tired of it. Like, they can't do this anymore because, they are absorbing all this pain from the souls. They are tired of this duty. Maybe they want to be relieved from this awful duty of guiding the souls, and they want to revive Akeros. So it's like, Akeros, just do this. We don't want to do this anymore. I'm quitting. It's them quitting. Or maybe the Docilists and maybe the Perxolians are actually hybrids, and they try to do experiments, trying to get Akeros' powers, maybe his power of immortality, something like that. And that's why they look so hybrids. And because the Perxolians don't look like they're part dragon, they look like a human with dragon parts glued on top of it, right? Like, they just have the blue horns, always blue as well. They are always Akeros color rather than having color variation like dragons would normally have. So it makes me think that maybe they experimented with like dragons' powers, Akeros' powers, and that's how they ended up being a Perxolian, because in every single teaser of 2.0, we never see Perxolians 1,000 years ago. All we see is humans, but these humans do not have the horns. We do have horned people in the teaser, but those horns are not Perxolian horns. I went to pause and grab the image that I'm talking about. The only moment we see someone who looks like a Perxolian in 1,000 years ago is these little guys here. But they don't have those dragon parts on the chest and on the arms. They only have these white horns. And these horns look more like either like a proper dragon horn or like a behemoth horn. Although the behemoth horn looks more like a tree branch, I suppose, but it looks like a different kind of horn. And also, if you look, Akeros' horn is very blue and crystal, which is the same as the Perxolians. So the Perxolians are definitely different. Either they are just like they changed over time, but it's the dragon parts that look like they are not natural to me, There's something weird going on here. And we also see that on the, what I suppose is the Docilist side in this old trailer, these are just humans. We are led to believe that these are Titans, but if we analyze the old trailers, we can see that there are actually humans there. So you can see here, this ground is next to this ground. This is a Titan, this is a human. He has no horns, as you can see there. So we have humans on the trailer. I should have pointed this out better on my theory video, because a lot of people actually commented and said, no, these are just Titans in another perspective, and it's not another perspective. They are right next to each other, as you can see on the ground here. Maybe I should draw on top. Hold on. I it's kind of like, it's a little bit easier for me to see because I'm just used to looking at things like that. But as you can see, there is a square here, then there is a line, and this is already the foot of this Titan. So we have Titan Docilists, but we also have human Docilists. There is no Titan King or gladiators here. It's only humans and Titans that are very sus, right? Which I think may be related to that eclipse as well. Like silence, darkness, night, all of these things seem to be related to the Docilists, and we don't know what the Docilists really want. If the cultists are the Docilists, I think that these guys are the Docilists, you know? Maybe they are not related to the Docilists and they are a third entity entirely that we haven't learned about yet. Another better perspective is like the chains here are gigantic next to these guys who are humans, while here the chains look very small next to the Titans. So we have 100%, like, this is not an idea or an assumption, this is a fact. There are humans in this ritual here with Acheros, and we have never heard anything about these humans. So I believe that maybe these humans wanted to be part dragon, remove some of Acheros powers, and they ended up like hybrids of Acheros and humans or something else. Another thing that a lot of people commented about as well that I think some people may be confused is that Nikki is not, she's bigger, the Saint as there in this cutscene is bigger than the humans but smaller than the Titans. But that's exactly what Nikki is as well. When Nikki gigantifies, she's not Titan size. The Titans are bigger than Nikki gigantified form. I just want to reinforce that because I felt like this was already quite clear if you stop to think about how, for example, Nikki struggles to open up the Titans doors across Italand. So when you're exploring Italand and you see the Titans statues, the Titan vases, all of those things are much bigger than Nikki herself. So, you know, just think about that, like how she struggles to open up the door. When she's exploring the Coliseum inside, everything is super gigantic in comparison to her. So even Nikki gigantifies is still smaller than a Titan. A Titan is like proper big, you know? They are not like gigantified. Well, they could be, but as far as we know, they are just a different species. They are not like gigantified or anything like that. They are like proper gigantic. So we have these humans, they are very suspicious, and my theory is that they may be looking for some of Acheros' powers, and they want a part of his soul, which one is with the Saintess, another is with Titan King, probably. The last part is my assumption. And I think that's why Lady Medell and the Docilists kidnap the Saintess. The Saintess is already very hurt. She shows up on the Mother's Room, which we don't know how that happens in the first place. We probably will learn now. And the Saintess, as she's dying, she gifts the Acheros soul / golden mark to Nikki, and then I guess this helps Nikki kind of like disguise herself as the Saintess, but you know, Nikki is not the Saintess, she's just carrying Acheros soul now. We also learn from Providence Immemorial that Nikki already met Acheros 1000 years ago, which leads me to believe that we will try time travel. I thought that we are going to time travel right now in 2.5, but I think that instead we're going to time travel in 2.8, but I'm gonna explain a little bit now why. So first, back to the soul thing. We have here almost like a confirmation that they can extract souls and that they are, you know, deeply related to the cycle of life. We also learn about souls possessing living beings. So here is like in the trailer, we have that scene where the soul is possessing the cat. And we also have further confirmation on the web events. So Momo asks Nikki, is guiding souls really that tiring? That ferryman is painting like crazy, tongue out and everything. And Nikki says, probably because they just got possessed by a floof. Oh wow, now they're rolling around the floor. Got any floof treats? So a floof soul possessed a man, which must be like this boneyard like must be filled with crazy NPCs. It's gonna be really fun to explore and talk to the characters. And we also have this other text, which Momo says, why is that so wandering back and forth? And Nikki says it probably got lost. See, it's following directions and rejoining the soul tide. So I just lost reception for a little bit. And I find really interesting that she talks about the soul tide because once again, we have souls and stars and water all connected as the same thing. So in this Nikki world, like Mirrorland or this Nikki universe, the living beings, the stars, the space, and the water and underwater are all related. They are all the same thing. We have the Whaleport space station. We have the gigantic whales at the destruction of Mirrorland in 1.5. We have have so many different like references that connect the stars and water and soul and life. And then about the map, so we've got Mother Shroom area, which is the Elderwood Forest. We got the Shroomlings area, which is Spira, and we are supposed to be getting 2 new areas, the Boneyard, which we are getting now in 2.5, and also the Lost Golden City of the Titans, Heaven's Reach. I thought that we were getting these 2 right now because that's how it kind of like worked last year. They dropped a massive update on the 0.0 and another massive on 0.5, and then 3.0 was already 2.0 sorry was already something else entirely. It's like I think that they're doing differently this year. I think we are getting Boneyard in 2.5, and in 2.8 instead of getting a filler-ish update, like just a bigger update like once in a round, we are actually getting the last third part of Italy's main story. So I think 2.8 is actually going to be Heaven's Reach, and that's when we're gonna explore it. Heaven's Reach may be on 2.5, but I'm not sure, especially considering how late the news and announcements were for this update. I already expect that they weren't able to develop everything in time. So let's first talk about Boneyard, but we'll also talk about Heaven's Reach in a bit. So for the Boneyard, this is the icon that we got like 4 months ago, and here's the image that we got as well previously. We have the Northern Lights again, which I was talking about. I think this is actually the souls guiding themselves to the Boneyard area. Here are the Parksolians, which again, these Parksolians have different kind of horns and look, and they don't have the hybrid parts on the arms. I think that this is an old image with these, with the scenery here, with this red grass and all of that. Then we have again the Northern Lights, and this is why it makes me think that these are actually the souls, because here it's not so smooth. It's more like pixelated almost in the art, which makes me think that it's just like many tiny little souls together that makes this Northern Light effect. I think this is gonna be so beautiful. I know that the photos here are gonna be amazing for sure, and I can't wait to explore this area of the Boneyard at night specifically. Then we've got actual images from the second teaser, which was a little shorter. So I screenshotted everything so we can have a proper look at it with, a relaxed look here. So we've got, first of all, this area, and it has the Greco-Roman pillars in this round space, which I think may be the place that Acheros was captured, because it's also very round. Like, I'm not sure if it's the same, because it doesn't seem to have stairs here, but it does look like it's a city of sorts. So it's almost like Spira, but opened up. And what I find interesting that kind of supports my other theory that I mentioned in my other video is that all of this buildings and architecture, they're covered by this rock looking thing here, like a rock ceiling and rock, shapes. But they also look like they're falling over these rocks. So this made me think, what if because I have another theory where the Parkia Lake volcano actually set off, and that's how the Titans were actually wiped out. Because we had the Heavens Fall, then the Veil Fall, and then maybe the Veil Fall, which was a massive, cataclysm that caused the abandoned district to get flooded, may have set off the gigantic Parkia volcano that we have in the game already. So maybe the volcano set off, and that's how the Titans were wiped out, because we know from Ritali's story in 2.4 that the Titans didn't die after, with Acheros. Acheros died and the Titans kept going, after that. So Acheros just died with the other gods in the Heaven Fall. So I think that maybe this is magma who cooled off over, 1,000 years. And that's why the buildings are covered by this falling, like almost melted rocks here. And this is how we got this very strange biome, I guess that's the words, like very strange look for this area. So maybe that's Poison Fury, or maybe I'm reaching and this is just like a aesthetic choice. Not everything needs to have a reason behind. It's certainly not in this game, at least. So maybe that was just like an aesthetic choice, but I do think it's a little bit like weird. Like maybe there is a story plot reason for that. Again, here we can have a better look. It's all covered by these rocks, and we have like this little poles, almost like it rained up on top of this and made natural pools. And if it is really related to the volcano, this is probably thermal waters. So it's almost like a hot spring area. Really cute. I just think there's a lack of green, you know. I wish we had like actual trees and more grass and things like that. But again, I feel like the lack of grass, like especially these parts here, they look like magma for me, you know, like magma that cooled off over 1,000 years and got like dust and dirt and sand on top of it. It just looks like the volcano set off here on top of the Titan city. So I feel like this was a Titan city and now it's kind of like, you know, it's a hot spring of sorts. Looks really crazy though. It looks really different from what I expected, that's for sure. I was expecting something more like Zanarkand from Final Fantasy X, but I find interesting that they went with this direction here. So we have multiple shops and areas, and the persons seem to just live here. We also have some murals that we'll be able to, you know, investigate and make more theories on top of it. We also have the gigantic weird mountain here with a better look of the round area and a waterfall. And the Perksonians seem to live here, like they have the little houses around this area. And I think we're gonna have like shops and a new boutique here as well, which I'll show you the text that I saw that confirms that suspicion. Then we have a massive dragon statue, potentially Akeros. We also have this gate which is closed, and we have like almost like a shrine on the background there. So all of these things point out to me that we'll have the Soul Spring area, which I also mentioned in my past theory video. I think that we're gonna get the giant tree with the Soul Spring for us to explore as well in this update. We got a painting with I guess it's the Soul Tide, and then the gate again, but now it's like an open gate. So I'm guessing this is the gate where the souls cross for them to reincarnate, you know, go to the afterlife. I think this is like the soul gate or whatever. It also has the same kind of like similar icon that the Perksonian was holding on the teaser. So I think that's what this is about. And we also have a little bit more of an image on the background with a giant tree, by the way, like a tree with a white flower. So I'm guessing this giant tree is the tree of the Soul Spring. It has like white flowers, you know, it's like a white tree. It will probably be similar to the Titan's graveyard tree, I imagine. And then we've got gates. Then here we have a little bit more of this round area here that looks almost like a ritual place with this very strange amber, I guess. I don't know what this rock with yellow things is inside, to be honest. I can't really pinpoint. It does look like amber with magma on top, something like that, like a fossil, but I'm not entirely sure. Then we have like some other, I can't really tell exactly what all of these little things here, but I think they are like ritual related. Then we have a better view again of this area. It's right in front of the ocean, and we have a painting with the mountain with the eclipse again. So maybe this eclipse only happens once 1,000 years, maybe that's why the Saint Ass showed up right now and so on. But anyways, for the web event, we got tons of texts that talk about the boneyard. So for example, Momo says, a flyer for the horn styling boutique, clipping, polishing, buffing. How do Perksonians even make sharp horns into rounded ones? So it seems that the Perksonians take care of their horns, almost like a hair styling for us, and we'll have the horn styling boutique. So I'm guessing the boutique may be the same as the Flower Wish boutique, Marquez boutique, and also the Spira boutique. So we may get like a new shop with tons of outfits. Hopefully, I'm hoping so. We also have something about Dragon Breath Potion, which tastes amazing. We can put on the food like a seasoning. So I'm guessing maybe we have like some new recipes to cook, which would be nice to have like a refresh for the cooking ability in the home. And we also have this conversation that talks about a book that says that certain music rhythms can help soothe a soul and ease the pain caused by the soul riff. I wonder if my Unstoppable Superstar cat would have the same effect, which is I think Momo's rock song. So this mention to cooking and also music makes me think that maybe the ability for this ability outfit is music related. It could be just an instrument, you know, maybe we have like a little flute and we are singing with mechanisms across the map to interact, or maybe we're using the music to guide the souls and the souls do something like a ceiling Genshin or something like that. So I'm guessing maybe this ability outfit has something to do with music, just like the violin in Wishfield. Then we have the end of the teaser, which is super interesting. So we've got the boneyards here, and then we have, which I guess is the Soul Tide, and it's really interesting. This image, I'm very interested in this image because, you know, if I wanted to time travel, maybe I could jump on something like that. You know, it's a crazy thing that would only happen on like game. Also, this could mean that we are also exploring the Soul Spring with the giant tree, and we may be able to see the Soul Tide place as well. What if Nikki is grabbing a boat and going into this, you know, and maybe she ends up 1,000 years ago. Maybe this is a place where time and space doesn't really matter, kind of like the Sea of Stars, something like that. So maybe this is related to the end of the story, end of the chapter in 2.5, and this is taking us to the Heaven's Reach. Maybe we're not time traveling, we are seeing Heaven's Reach today, but we are crossing over this to reach the Heaven's Reach, and that's why nobody finds the Heaven's Reach. Maybe Heaven's Reach is underwater or floating in the sky and or hidden, you know, and the only way to reach that is through this crazy little Soul Tide. We also have the little teasers, but we're gonna talk about them in a second. Let's just talk a little bit more about the Soul Tide first. I would like to point out that in the teaser, we also have the same shape as the Soul Tide. I forgot the name of this, like whirlwinds. Oh, that's also the name of the Guardian Mist. Whirls, right? So I think it's like a whirl related thing. Okay, sorry guys, English is not my language. It's not whirl, it's whirl. That's what I'm talking about. So the swirl that we have for the Soul Tide right here is also the same shape that we have in space. So we have planets, we have stars, and we have the, what I guess is the Soul Tide. So again, I think this is related maybe to like time and space or something like that. So we've got a better view of this Soul Tide here with the souls flying through. And we also have this weird building of sorts right there on the corner. Again, just wanted to remind that it's something that I already talked about at the beginning of the video, but is that in Nikki's universe, water and space are always related, right? We have like the Whaleport space station filled with water inside. We have the Sea of Stars, you know, things like that. But anyways, my second thought is that this looks like a building. Maybe this is indication that Heaven's Reach is through the Soul Tides. Maybe this is just like a teaser and it's not actually on the map. It also seems to have like tons of poles around it, like the boneyard area, and a very big tower of sorts. It's really strange. This whole foamy area, it seems to be teasing us maybe something related to Heaven's Reach, and that got us to the Heaven's Reach topic. Again, I have multiple theories about this on my other videos. I'm not gonna delve into details, but Heaven's Reach is supposedly a Titan city, which means, reminder, Titans are gigantic, so a Titan city is going to be absolutely massive. So I think it makes sense for Heaven's Reach to be its own separate map. Kind of like we have Elderwood Forest, we have Spira, we have Boneyard, and then we have Heaven's Reach. So maybe this is actually update 2.8, and we're not gonna see Heaven's Reach yet, and it's in the Heaven's Reach that the story is going to end. So I'm guessing we are gonna learn a lot about Echoros, the Titan King, the Parxolians, the Docilists in update 2.5 in the Boneyard. We're gonna learn how all the souls and reincarnation work, and we're also gonna learn what we learned through Providence Memorial, that Nikki already met Echoros 1,000 years ago, which also explains the vase. And then maybe Nikki is going to go crazy and cross over the Soul Tide, the swirl, or maybe do something else. Maybe she's gonna have like a miracle outfit for that, could be Fred's reunion or something else, and she's going at the end of 2.5 time travel back to the Titan City, Heaven's Reach, and that's gonna be probably 2.8. Very exciting stuff. That's all assumptions and guesses from my part, though none of this is confirmed. Just before anyone gets super excited. Anyways, then we got to the teasers for the outfits. Super excited about this. We have, which seems to be the, you know, classic Yuri Nikki here. We're gonna get the 5-star outfits. This is probably an outfit representing Echoros, I suppose, and the Titan King, or Echoros and Nikki, or Titan King and Nikki. It's hard to tell right now because there are too many there are a few elements here, but I'm pretty sure that the red head is to represent Titan King, because Titan King is the only defining trait that she has is a red hair, which seems to be quite rare in Mirrorland overall. So she has red hair. I'm pretty sure that this is a representation of her. It also looks kind of angry. Like if she is truly the daughter of the kingdom, which is another theory that I have, then we know that she's a rebellious character, headstrong, protect people. She's a protector. You know, the Titan King, if she's the daughter of the kingdom, she is a protector. She wants to take care of people and give them a better life and stop the wars and all that. So she's very strong and a proper leader, right? Like a matriarch almost. So I really hope that Titan King is in fact the daughter of the kingdom, because she will be a very interesting character. This purple here outfit with the acro souls there, I think not acro souls, sorry, the acro's little spirits, I think that this may be the miracle outfit. So I think the purple with this weird flower crown, maybe, I don't know what exactly this is supposed to be. I think this could be the miracle outfit that we are getting in this update with, I guess, the Titan King. And then here, I'm not entirely sure yet who these are supposed to represent. We do have a veil. So this character here has a veil. Let me show. Maybe something to represent the Saint Taz. And then this is like a big veil. Because the only person who really uses a big veil is the Saint Taz. So maybe this is like Saint Taz and Acros, maybe. With the head piece, it also looks like one of these two could be the Titan King. So I believe, like, my previous theory was already that we will get like Titan King and Acros outfits, but the fact that she's also here, I don't know, maybe this is also representing Acros and Titan King. I think it's a little bit hard right now to tell exactly who these are, because both the Titan King and Acros have wings, and both of them have head pieces as well. So it's hard to know if maybe Nikki is dressing up as one of them to represent them, something like that. But yeah, so Titan King has these wings and helmets, and also the wings on her waist, which are mechanical, while Acros also has a headpiece and dragon horns with a halo, and also has wings, but like angel wings instead. So it's definitely hard to tell here. This could be like an ear. So it looks like his ear, because he has like a dragon ear here. So maybe something like that. I don't know. But it's definitely going to be related to them for sure. And I'm very excited for these outfits. So we are sure to have an outfit with wings. These definitely represent the 2 5 stars from the banner. And this is probably the miracle outfit. And this is probably a representation of the Titan King. I'm very excited to see the outfits though. I think it looks like it's going to look really good. It's hard to tell because this here looks like a wing, which could be this. But then the other side doesn't have the little lines there. So I'm talking about like this one doesn't have this, right? So this shape makes me think of Acros. He has this shape here as a crown, right? So it's hard to tell. Like they both have very similar elements. And in this kind of like super simplified catch here, we can't really tell who's who. But I think we're safe to assume it's Titan King and Acros. Then we have a few things for like more context about the Parksolians that we learned through the web event as well, so I wanted to share that. Here Nikki says, Momo, listen, the gods have gone and the dragon clans march toward the end. Only Parksolians ferry the wandering souls guarding the order of reincarnation. What are the winds trying to tell us? So I think that's like just reinforcing that the Parksolians are doing Acro's job right now, and that the gods were gone. So we have like multiple dragon clans. So maybe one dragon clan wants to keep the job and the other dragon clan is actually, wants to, leave or get immortality or something like that. So we may have like a clash between the Parksolians there. And we don't know if dragon clans mean Parksolians or actual dragons, because they are two different things, right? Then we have another conversation. By the way, have Parksolians always lived in the boneyards? I never see them anywhere else. It seems they must carry out their duties here, even if it means enduring the pain of soul wrath. And we also have a very interesting conversation which says, whoa, an upside down soul just floated by, totally silent. So a quiet upside down soul. Nikki says, I think they were part of the inverted order and silent sect when they were alive. So I think that maybe this is not the Docilists. The cultists were the inverted order and silent sect. Makes sense, they're all quiet, they don't talk, they're doing something like some really weird ritual. Maybe that's also related to the eclipse. So I think that, like I was saying earlier, it could be that the cultists are not related to the Docilists. The Docilists are just dumb, and the cult are this order, this inverted order and silent sect. I don't think we ever heard about these two before. So this text really puzzled me. I don't know if it's a like translation error or anything like that, but it's quite interesting. And then Momo says, keeping those habits even after becoming a soul, talk about hardcore. They must have been a master of niche soul reft fighting techniques. So they were proper cult tests, right? Like that's a proper cult. You're gonna be upside down and silent even after death because you're following your, orders or whatever it is that this inverted order and silent sect believes in. Really strange, really interesting. Very excited to learn more about this. Unless I missed something from the previous updates, and if I did, please let me know because it's humanly impossible to read every single lore piece. So if you already heard about these guys here, inverted order and silent sect, please let me know down below. I would love to hear. And then we also have a little bit of a trivia. I heard Brixonians take promises really seriously, so we have to be careful with what we say to them. Next time, we'll need to pay closer attention to the customs. Then Nikki says, next time? When is that? Do you have an exact date in mind? And then Momo says, whoa, that was a little quick. I find interesting that they are talking about time here. Maybe, again, could be like just me reaching out, but I think this is pointing out to time traveling as well. Then I also mentioned in my previous video, a lot of people may have missed that because it's a long video and I talk about this very much in the end, is that Friends of Reunion could be the next miracle outfit if it's used for time traveling. And we have the Lunar Astrolabe, which a lot of people have theorized that matches the Friends of Reunion. It has its descriptions here. But I think that if we are time traveling, that's only 2.8. So if we are getting Friends of Reunion as a time traveling outfit, it's only going to be 2.8, not 2.5 anymore, which is what I wrote on my video. But that's because Heaven's Reach, I don't think it's going to be on 2.5 anymore. So I just wanted to update that and change, that if Friends of Reunion is not Sitcha and Fredstar related, it's going to be 2.8 instead, I imagine. And that's it. There is a lot to analyze this time. I can't wait to see more. We'll probably get some more news tomorrow. But again, just a small reminder, I have scheduled the Chinese live stream official and early for 2.5 already on my live stream tab. Please do join me. It's going to be very fun. We can see all of the news, all of the outfits, everything that's going to happen, and I'll try my best to translate everything. Another thing also unrelated that I wanted to mention is not Infinite Nikki, but I actually just posted yesterday another video about this game called Songs of Glimmerwake. I'm afraid that this video is going to be buried by the Infinite Nikki news today, but I really don't want this to be missed out. I feel like I posted this video in the wrong timing here, but I really don't want anyone to miss out on this. This game is just fantastic. It's honestly genuinely game of the year for me, maybe game of the decade even. This is not sponsored, by the way. I played the demo and I had such a good experience. I just want to spread the word, So if you like the story, lore, if you like fantasy worlds, if you like magic, witches, things like that, I think you're definitely gonna love this. The story is amazing. It's 100% fully voice acted. Everyone, even the random little NPC on the corner, fully voice acted, and with amazing voice acting, by the way. The art style is magical, the gameplay mechanics are fun, and very, it's just magical. It's a magical game. It made me feel like I love video games again. No gacha, no live service, no cash grabbing, none of that. It's a proper game, and it's magical, and I cannot recommend enough. So I would say you can watch my video or watch any other video. Just search about it. It's on Steam. The demo's free right now. It's not gonna be for mobile, only computer, most probably. But I still recommend you have a look at the game because it's just absolutely amazing, and I will be playing in full here on my channel, and I'll definitely post it either as a video or streams because I'm just completely in love and I wanted to mention it because I think it's gonna kind of like disappear on the channel since I'm gonna be posting many videos about Nikki today and I don't want people to miss out on that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you probably tomorrow morning with more news. Thank you so much for watching and thank you to all of the members and patrons who support the channel and make these videos possible, and see you on the next one.
Ryan Little.